Hi, and welcome to another episode of Sartorial Talks. Today we're going to address a subject that you've requested because this season we really want to look at your comments and address them as a new way of doing Sartorial Talks. So the subject today is waistcoats, or as some of you Americans may know them as vests. Basically, a waistcoat and a vest is the same thing. Now, normally I don't go directly into the nuts and bolts of the subject because I like to do a nice introduction, but in this case, I want to go directly to the point because I don't want you to miss why a waistcoat can be a really extremely important element in your wardrobe. The first reason is because if you have some shirts that are really nice shirts, but for some reason they're ill-fitting and you think you're going to have to throw them out, give them to Goodwill, give them to someone else, you can think again and possibly save a lot of money because if you have a shirt, for example, that's too large, maybe it looks like a tent at the bottom, or you have a shirt that's just really tight, it's just not going to be possible for you to wear that shirt. If you put a waistcoat on, you're going to find that you're going to save the shirt because no one's going to realize that it's baggy or too tight because it's obviously under your vest. The second point is that I want you to think about is your weight. If you find that you gained some weight recently, and maybe your shirts aren't going to work anymore, well, in this case, once you put a waistcoat on, your silhouette's going to be pulled in and is going to be improved and look much more elegant with that vest. On the other hand, say you lost a lot of weight and you want to put the waistcoat on again to just cover that point so that your shirt is not too loose. And you've saved a shirt. Maybe something you haven't thought about is those shirts, they're perfectly good shirts, but they have a big stain right in the front. Okay, you think the shirt's gone, it's toast, so you're not gonna be using the shirt. Put a waistcoat on, you've saved the shirt. Another thing is if you have a trip ahead of you and there's no iron in the hotel. This has happened in Hugo and I so many times. We just can't get an iron, especially in Italy. There's so many regulations with no irons. They'll say, we can't give you an iron, but you can give us your shirt. We'll iron it and get it back to you. Well, normally we don't have time for that. So you take your waistcoat, you put it on over your wrinkled shirt, you take a damp cloth, you rub out the wrinkles with a damp cloth, and maybe, a little bit on your collar as well, you're ready to go. So a waistcoat can save you in a travel situation as well. Also, you can think about the type of tie that you're using with the waistcoat. Some people say they can't tie a full Windsor or a more elaborate knot because it brings the tie up too much and it just won't work with the shirt. You have total freedom in the type of tie that you decide, the type of tie knot you decide to use with a vest. So that's kind of nice to know. Also, if you happen to have a tie that's too short or too long, no matter how you tie it, the problem's completely solved with a waistcoat or a vest. If you're going to wear a waistcoat, what should you think about? First of all, you should think about, you're going to create a lot of outfits. I went to Cifanelli recently and I got 3 waistcoats with 1 suit. Now, why would I do that? Well, because after 8 years of getting suits, I realized that if I get 1 suit and 3 different vests, I'm going to create a lot of different outfits. You think about it, if you get rid of the jacket and you just wear the waistcoats, that's 3 outfits. You get rid of the waistcoat, you just wear the jackets, another outfit. You start mixing different waistcoats with different shirts and ties. You're going to create numerous outfits. That's why I suggest that you do the same. Another thing you may want to do is take these different waistcoats, and I would like to do this with Cifanelli, and match the waistcoat and the trousers and wear the same jacket. You have numerous more outfits if you do this. So, for example, if I decided I had a gray waistcoat, I would get a gray pair of trousers and wear my same navy jacket. Creates another outfit. So you get the idea. You can be more creative with more vests in your wardrobe. Another thing, in this dress down era, I mean, think about it. We have the Silicon Valley type of movement where people are saying, don't dress up, dress down. It's going to make the customers feel more comfortable. So in this case, you can wear your waistcoat in a situation where you need to be more dressed up. And then if you're in a dress down situation, remove the waistcoat. You're in a trousers and a shirt. So it's a very versatile piece. Another thing I want you to think about is what you're going to tell your tailor, or how you're going to pick that off the peg waistcoat. First thing you need to think about is the waistcoat should come over your trousers. That's really key. And what I've done is in my situation with this Walker Slater waistcoat, I'm going to go back to the very beginning. I lost 10 pounds and I had an issue that with my waistcoat and trousers and my trousers were just too large. So I have a small trick to share with you. I actually put braces on under my waistcoat. No one can see that. It pulled my trousers up so I don't have to give these trousers away or put them in the back of my closet. And I put my waistcoat on, which does come down over my pants. So I suggest that you make sure that your vest is long enough to come down over the trousers, and do not, whatever you do, do not wear a belt under your vest. It just looks bulky. It looks very weird if the belt shows. So keep the belt out of the way. You won't see it anyway if your waistcoat's long enough. Another thing you want to consider, whether you're doing bespoke, made to measure, or buying off the peg, is whether you want the back of your vest to be silk or the same material as the front of your vest. Honestly, people say, if you're just going to wear the waistcoat alone, make sure it's the same fabric on back as front. I've never bought into that. I have waistcoats that I wear that have a silk back, and it doesn't matter to me. I'll still wear them without the jacket. So I'm not too picky about that. But if you notice in the back of the waistcoat, sometimes you'll see another element, and that's an adjuster. Lorenzo Civinelli tells me, some people don't want that adjuster back there because they want people to know it's bespoke and it doesn't need an adjuster. But I said, Lorenzo, you know what? Put an adjuster back there anyway, because I don't know what I'm going to weigh at any point in time. So if I want to tighten it, I can, or if I want to loosen it, I can. So decide, do you want an adjuster or do you not? The next thing you want to think about is the cut. Okay, I've seen a lot of write-ups about the cut of a vest, and a lot of people say go ahead and let the underneath your arm, let it be cut pretty low so you have a lot of room for movement. To me, I don't have a preference either way. It doesn't really matter to me. What does matter to me is the width of the top of the vest. I really don't like it cutting in and showing the seams of the shirt. I like a clean look. So you might agree. You may want to cover the top of your shoulder from your neck, the nape of your neck, to the tip of your shoulder for just a nicer silhouette and a cleaner look. Another thing to consider is whether you want lapels or not on your vest or waistcoat. I do like lapels. I just think it looks a little dressier and adds a little more flair. But I also, if I'm wearing the ditto suit with all the same fabric, like to get a vest without a lapel. It's just more streamlined and nice, I think, with the silhouette. So that's a personal preference that you can decide. And the last point about the cut is how deep you want to go in front. We talked about the old days when they thought shirts were underwear. If you go to Vienna, you'll see those waistcoats all the way up to here. But you have to decide how far you want to go down in terms of what complements your silhouette in the V cut of the front of the waistcoat. Another thing is your button style. Do you want a lot of buttons, or do you want something very simple? Just straight down. Me, I like to really go crazy with the buttons. Sometimes I get cloth covered buttons and sometimes I use metal buttons. So it's all according to personal taste. Finally, single-breasted waistcoat or double-breasted waistcoat. Single-breasted is usually more informal. Double-breasted is formal. We're going to wrap it up with talking about two staples. So no matter what vest or waistcoat you have, I hope that you will consider two staples. One is the dove gray waistcoat, and the other is the buff or sand waistcoat. These are two staples in your wardrobe that will dress up any suit that you have. And you can go to parties, more formal events. You can show up where you need to be more elegant with a dove gray or a buff waistcoat and just change your entire vibe of your suit. So I know that was pretty extensive coverage of waistcoats or vests, but I hope you found some inspiration and that you will leave comments if you have any other ideas that I might have missed. So until next time, cheers.